unlimited choices are around us. And we have just shared with our listeners that we both have issues going on that some people might say, oh, I'm immobilized, or I'm in pain, or I'm stuck, or I'm frustrated, or, right? Fill in the blanks.
Yeah, or. Yeah.
So, and it's funny, the situation that I've been working with that I kind of touched on briefly, I hear so many people when I tell them what I'm going through, they want to tell me how to deal with it. Oh, this is what I'm doing to you. If I was you, this is what.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, dear Deb. Welcome, dear listeners. Here we are with another thrilling episode of Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast episode. We love doing these. How are you, my dear Deb?
Oh, apart from the fact I've done 10 coughs in the last 2 minutes when you said we're going to hit record, apart from that.
Yep, and some sneezes and coughs and
snorts.
And then we press record and all is well in the entire world. Well, that's the intention anyway.
Yep.
I'm really excited for today's conversation because this is a goodie. And I know if you listened to these episodes before, we always say this, but they are.
But this one is a goodie.
Really is.
I agree.
But before we get into the juicy awesomeness of today's topic, oopsie, Deb forgets that when I intro and come in and talk, I'm going to ask her this question that she doesn't always like answering.
Really funny. I have a whole thing like, that's what I've got to do. I've got to think. Man. That's what it is. I can do a podcast and not think, but I've got to think. That's it. I've got to think.
Darn it. So, dear listeners, if you've listened to us before, you know that we like to do this little check-in. This check-in is to just kind of assess yourself. How are you doing in your body? How are you feeling? How's your emotions? How's your connection to all that is? And we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. And at 0, it's like totally blissed out, totally calm, positive, then everything's well in your world. Yes, and then at 10 it's all kind of chaotic, questioning, stuck, overwhelmed, ruminating, chuntering, all of those kind of things. And here's the thing is we've all experienced moments of 10 and moments of 0 and everything in between. This tool is just an assessment tool to help you assess yourself, tell yourself the truth, and just be okay with whatever's going on. And know that it's never a fixed state. We are never in fixed states. So this always moves. And then by having the awareness, then you can have more responsibility about what's going on for you and through you.
Yeah, and through you.
And through you. So all that being said, my dear Deb, where are you?
Well, this is an interesting one. I've had to really analyze this. So when you started talking, I went, I'm a 1. And then I went, no, you're not. You've got crutches beside you. You've got bandages. You've got a bandage on your foot. You've got acupuncture patches on your foot. You've got a wrist that's still bleeding, bandaged up. You've got, and I went, you're not a 1.
You're not.
And then I went, and you're in pain. and you've had no pills today. And I'm like, well, you're not a 1, you're pretty much a 6 or 7. And then I went, nah, I'll give myself a 2 because I know. So this is the whole, when you were talking, I'm
This
like,
is the
wow,
conversation that goes
this is
on.
my conversation. In case people go, now you know why I go, oh God, I've got to rate myself. Purely because the foot is, which is perfect for our topic today. The foot is the foot. I've injured my foot, I've injured my wrist, I tripped over a power cord and smashed against the fence. Slid down ever so graciously with splinters and the rest of it, the wood fence. But anybody, most people will probably just go, oh, you are actually a 7 or 8 because you're in intense pain. You're here with this. You can't, every time you move your wrist, it reminds you, do you know how often you just move your fingers? I can feel that.
Yep.
I'm refusing to take any painkillers. And the acupuncture patches, I believe, are going to work. But I went, well, they're actually not a problem because I'm sitting here in my seat right now. So I went, okay, and that's why I'm going to rate myself a 2. I'd probably say a 1.5, but I'll do a 2 just to keep my ego in check. But all the stuff that's around me is not actually affecting me.
Right.
So that's why.
You at the core. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And what's really neat is that both Deb and I have stuff going on with our physical body, so I'm actually going to put myself at a 1.5, but it was funny because I kind of went through a similar, not quite as detailed an analysis as you did, but I have some issues going on with my legs and my mobility and my pace and ability to move around, and it's been with me for a while. But like you just said, it's not affecting me as a whole.
No.
So it's still, but it does. And maybe you're finding this a little bit too. It's the gift of the having to slow things down a little bit to go, oh yes, I've got this restriction over here, or I've got this limited range of motion challenge over here. So it means that I need to be mindful, which is to me is a gift, right?
Well, I said to myself yesterday morning, I have to laugh. I said to myself, oh, why don't you just do these last few things and then you can slow down?
Right. Yes,
well,
and then you can.
Then you can. And on the very last task, bang, I went down. And I went, well, hang on, universe. I said to you I was doing one last thing and then I was slowing down. And then the other part of my head went, no, you tried to fool the universe by telling you you'd do this. You had semi-intentions, but you had 20% intention, but 80% knew darn well, there's no way you're going to slow down, Deborah.
Right.
And so it immobilized me, literally, that the crutches are there and the moon boot's on its way and all the rest of it. But it's interesting which is perfect for our topic today, because that's
absolutely
exactly it. But if I had a million things to do and my world couldn't slow down, I would be frustrated and I would have to adapt a lot more. Now I'm definitely adapting because you have to climb 20 sets of steps to go to the bedroom. So that was incredibly painful last night. Jumping up to pull the blind down because there's sun in my room. It's like, okay, hang on, I've got to get the crutch on.
And then the crutch operation now.
Yeah, the crutch hits on my wrist and I have to hobble on that, and so all those little things. But in reality, our topic today is such a great one that I'm not looking at the chaos of the crutches and the pain and all that. I'm focusing on Moira and the podcast and
the time
carrying on to a level
with our listeners. Absolutely.
That feels right.
It does feel right. So unlimited choices are around us. And we have just shared with our listeners that we both have issues going on that some people might say, oh, I'm immobilized, or I'm in pain, or I'm stuck, or I'm frustrated, or, right? Fill in the blanks.
Yeah, or. Yeah.
So, and it's funny, the situation that I've been working with that I kind of touched on briefly, I hear so many people when I tell them what I'm going through, they want to tell me how to deal with it. Oh, this is what I'm doing. If I was you, this is what. But remember, unlimited choices are around us. So to me, that means I don't ever have to confine myself to somebody else's opinion or to conform to some way of, if you've got an issue with your mobility, then that means that you have to walk with a cane, or, well, in your case, you kind of do. But
2 crutches and 1 crutches makes my wrist bleed. Yep, that one.
can't do that one. Can't do that one. But do you know what I mean? It's like it's unlimited choices, meaning, does the choice that you're sitting with, does it align with you? And if it doesn't, that's okay. Are you willing to be flexible with it?
We talked about this morning, actually, when I was just saying before we hit record, way before, because
Yes, of course we did.
Because I said, yeah, of course we did. Because I said one size doesn't fit all.
That's right. That's right. We did talk about that.
Yeah, because I said sometimes you need a chiropractor, or sometimes you need an osteopath or a doctor or a physio or your own natural healing or acupuncture or whatever. And you just have, and it's that trust. We had this full-on conversation about it this morning before we went to air.
We did.
Way back. Because it was that whole thing is going, okay, well, maybe physio isn't going to help, but maybe a chiropractor will help, or
That's
maybe breathing helps,
or
whatever it is,
or sitting, or just gently stretching or moving. But here's the key piece. When we get into this idea of unlimited choices, there's that whole piece of being responsible and taking ownership and being the boss of you. Because there is a plethora of choices. There isn't, but that, to me, that means
it's unlimited choices. Yeah.
It's huge, but it comes into what you just said about trust. So even if I can sit here and say, well, my head doesn't know exactly what the best choice is, but I trust myself to recognize it, then I can let go and see what comes up.
Well, I think yesterday I tried to convince the universe. So there's trust in yourself, others, and the universe, or the bigger picture. And yesterday I tried to convince the universe, I'll just do one more thing and then I'll stop.
Right.
And the universe went, we don't trust you. We know your pattern. So we're overriding your trust with our trust. But in reality, I know darn well that wouldn't have been one more thing, because I'm currently packing boxes and moving and everything like that.
I know. So don't you think that this actually was something that was gently constructed by your own self?
Yeah, well, I don't have to walk the dogs now in the morning.
Yeah. And you're having to go through this at a different pace than that frenetic, like, I'll rest when I get through this. That one to me is always a bit of a red flag anyways. I'll do this when I get there. Well,
I'll just park that till I'm ready.
Yeah.
No, you're ready now.
Yep.
The time's perfect now.
Yes.
And I love that. I really love that we actually had a full-on conversation about this without, and I don't know if you knew the title, but we did. We full-on said some things don't fit. I love those things, and they say one size fits all. Get this jumper, and you put it on. You're like, no. If you've got a size 6 and a size 28, they're not one size fits all. Like, let's get real here. I'm not saying I'm a size 6 and I'm not saying I'm a size 28, but I'm just saying one size doesn't fit all.
No, I know, but then I just got an image in my mind of somebody who is size 28 trying to put on the size 6.
So did I.
Be like, well, I can maybe get one toe in it.
Or you imagine a size 6 put on a size 28. Like, no, one size fits all.
Nope, it doesn't.
Not if I want to look good in public. Either way.
Yeah.
But I think that, and it also comes down, I'm going to say it again, which is one of my favorite things. There's a couple of things that's my favorite is hand on heart, which we know and breathe. Yeah. But the other thing is your PEMS.
Yes. Your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. It's like your 4 pillars of you. Yeah.
So today, I slept amazing. And funnily enough, I have a dog on my bed, a little Shih Tzu dog, Ben. And he snuggles up to my legs and he gets in, he huffs and puffs if I go to move, and I turn myself inside out. My knees come all the way up. If I want to roll up, my knees literally come out of the blanket all the way past my head. And, well, not quite past my head, but it feels like it. Actually, probably they do. And then roll over, and then the other one comes up, and it's an inconvenience.
So not to disturb him.
No, because I don't want to disturb the dog.
No.
Definitely not. I'll just contortion myself. But last night he didn't sleep on me.
The
He did not.
intelligence of the dog.
I know.
Yeah.
So I had the best sleep last night, and my partner said, "Did you have Ben on you last night?" I was like, "No," and she was like, "I did." I was like, "Oh, did you? Oh, he's a good wee boy." That's the Daisy. Yeah, she was a little bit like, "Well, I did." And I'm like, "Oh, now you know what I feel like every flipping night." But I loved that that happened last night, that the dog was in tune with me. And I did have a great sleep. But if I had a rough sleep, this podcast could be going differently. Be like, Moira, I can't do a podcast. I'm just feel like my world shattered.
Yeah.
But it does fall around your pens.
It does.
And today might be a good day. This afternoon might not be a great day, afternoon. But it's all how you handle it. And I think it's all how you look at things, is what I'm saying. So unlimited choices are absolutely around us when we open our eyes.
When we open our eyes, but then also when we get into our own flow, our own rhythm, or just even trusting ourselves. Because like you just said, we know that if you'd had a really bad sleep last night, or if I was in a lot of pain, our choice would be, well, we'll delay recording. We'll do it another time. That's a choice. Right? And so we know that that's an option, right? You can have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's about being flexible and being, you know, and I've called 2020 the year of the pivot, because it literally was like a meerkat. Your head popped up, you looked around, you went, oh, this is not working. I need to pivot. I need to change. Your head goes the other way, get down, do your work, whatever. Oh, here we go. And it was literally 2020 came from that quickly is the year of the pivot. And we're still pivoting. And
we're still pivoting and still changing. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you see that there's unlimited choices and not just going, okay, I can only turn left and that's it for the rest of my, wasn't there a movie that he was a yes man or something, or a no man or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. That would just be insane.
Yeah,
so so what I'm saying is you can turn left or right or stay where you are or go forward or back. Like, it's okay. There's so many choices for you at any time.
Absolutely. And here's the other part too, that I think that having the awareness that unlimited choices are around us is number one priority. But number two priority is honoring that something that I think is a really good choice might not be yours, and vice versa. And so I think that this idea or this mindset that we're talking about is to help us step into flexibility and harmony and blending, but also to understand that everybody else has their unlimited choices. So we have to get rid of agendas, right? Because if I say, oh, well, I know all the best ways to do it, I know all the best choices, and here I'm going to tell you what they are.
Someone actually called agendas at the weekend restrictions.
Well, they are.
And I thought, oh, that's a good word to, a restriction. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Actually, I will loan you this money, but you have to use it for that.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, that's a restriction. That's definitely it. But I've never looked at it like that. I just go, it's an agenda. You've got your intention. Good luck to you.
Well, that's the thing. But that's I'm an energy healer, and actually just this past weekend I was teaching energy healing with awesome experience. But we were really getting into that topic of, if you are offering healing, or you just said lending money, if you're doing that and then you put an agenda on it, so like as an energy healer, if you offer energy healing and in your mind you're saying, I'm going to heal you, I'm going to fix that, I'm going to take that pain away, these are agenda items. These are agenda items, and you can't do that. But if you do it and offer the the favor or the money or the energy healing or the advice unconditionally, and say, may this be of the highest good, then you empower that person to find their flavor or their own way of bringing it into themselves, or not. Because a person can sort of say, okay, thanks, it just doesn't resonate for me as well.
Well, that's like some people. I was just thinking, some clients come to me and they're like, I want to work on this, this, and this, and you're like, fabulous. And then you do your first session, and they may say, I want to work on my my financial situation, and you're like, yep, no problem, let's get into it. And then you find it's actually not the financial situation. The financial situation has come back from ABCD, way
some
back
relationship
when you're a child.
issues or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you uncover that, and then they're like, hang on, we're talking about I employed you for your finance. They're like, yeah, okay, but there's actually a bigger picture down here. There's actually that concrete that's all that you're standing on is all shattered, so we've got to go underneath that concrete and find out what's really going on until we can pull that back up. So their intention is to work on their finance, but I can clearly see it's not their finance, it's that conversation that they've had with their parents when they were 4 around finances. Money doesn't grow on trees, and they've stuck to that. So you've got to change their perception, and it's just having that agenda of, okay, whatever's going on, we have to figure that one out. But when we work through 5 little things, then we get to then they see that. And I guess that's that trust when you employ someone to be your coach or whatever, that they know where they're taking you.
Precisely. But and I love what you just said, though, because people will work with me or engage me for a coaching program to fix this one thing. And I think I shared this story with you before with our listeners about a client that I worked with many, many years ago. And he came, it was only wanted to work on his career, his work goals. He wasn't making his targets, and he was just really beating himself up and saying, we have to focus completely on this. And so in my coaching sessions, I kept asking him, what's going on in his personal life and what's going on in his relationship and he would start digging his heels at, no, Moira, I've hired you to do this. And just that whole thing of, because I believe how we are in one area of our life is how we are.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Right? We're not going around being robots or putting on masks, and in some people's cases they are. But when you want to, and then it's just you telling me that story of somebody says, I want you to fix the finances or like get this clear. But oftentimes it's not what's the presenting thing. But that's the dance of being a coach, right?
Yeah.
I can't say that I have an agenda other than being the sounding board or the support or the spiritual detective to get to the roots of what is that, right?
Yeah, the agenda is to give them a fulfilling day and week until you talk, life, basically. That's the agenda, no matter whether you turn left, right, straight ahead, go back, whatever. You don't know. You can't pick a card. Well, actually, you do.
I do.
I was going to say, you can't pick a card and go, okay, this is the card we're doing today, but Moira does. I don't mean it like that, but you can't go, I'm going to put my favorite undies on and I'm going to have an amazing day. In fact, just put your undies on or not and have an amazing day anyway. You don't need your undies. That sounds so wrong. That's due to the conversation I had about my undies. So just for the record, everybody, I put on my Instagram story, I'd injured myself, and one of my followers messaged me and said she told her daughter about Debz had an injury, and her first reaction was, well, how's she going to, how's she going to pull her knickers on and off when she goes to the toilet? How's she going to go to the toilet? That's why I'm talking about undies. Just need to clarify that.
That's why it's top of mind.
First world problems for a 7-year-old. Well, how's she going to go to the toilet? Just like everyone else, just a little bit slower. Don't leave it to the last minute.
No.
But instead of just going, I'm going to put my favorite undies on and have an amazing day, I'm just going to put my undies on and have an amazing day.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say.
No,
That
and I
makes-
like what you said, because I think that what we were both kind of getting into as coaches, we talk about agenda. Actually, that's not the best word to use for what we're talking about. It's our operating model, it's where we come from, as opposed to an agenda is about what you just said. The agenda item would be, I'm going to have a great day because I put on my favorite undies.
Yeah, that's definitely an agenda.
That's an agenda, right?
Or
'Cause
no
that's the
undies, just,
limited-
because you've heard about Commando Friday. Just saying. Just put that one out there. All the people are going, okay, Deborah, thank you. Stop talking about undies.
Can't
But
say
that-
that I've
that-
heard
that-
of that one, but okay.
Have you not heard of Commando
No,
Friday?
I haven't.
Oh, wow.
Learned
You're on
something
the
new
other
today.
side of the world. Yeah. Okay, I'll be quiet. But you're right. That's an absolute agenda.
Right. But you know something that just occurred to me? That's a little bit like Deb's world that says, I'm going to take it easier. I'm going to slow down when I do this.
Yeah.
That's an agenda. Right?
Oh, that's why the
That's
universe
why
went,
the universe said,
don't give us that crap, Deborah. Whatever happened to going with the flow of ease and grace?
that's right. I've
Just
got the
quickly brush
energy to
across
do
here.
one more thing. But
Yeah.
so even that, it's so to me, it's like unlimited choices are all around us.
Agendas are everywhere. My
they
head's
are.
going,
Yeah.
damn.
But it's
And so are unlimited choices.
so to open up to the unlimited choices, sometimes we need to look at, are we playing small or limited, putting your blinkers on and getting caught into, oh well, I can't have that because I haven't done this.
I'm not worthy of it.
Yeah.
Or I haven't, how can I take B, C, D and I haven't done A?
Yes. Yeah. Because this is about personal power too.
Awareness.
Mhm.
There are so many choices. There are so many choices of everything.
Mhm.
Everything.
Mhm.
Just thinking about one of my favorite ways to eat is a platter.
Mhm.
And when I say a platter, it's just a variety of food.
Right.
Like
Yep.
if I go somewhere, my ideal would be 5 different entrees. So I could have a platter of food. And so-
Smorgasbord.
yeah, smorgasbord. Yeah, that's exactly it. I like that, don't like that. And I love that idea. And that is totally around us, that we can go, okay. And I know I spoke to a friend many years ago, and she was really broke financially. And she says, I had to get out of the situation because my daughter said, are we having potatoes again tonight? And she said, there was so many ways you could do potatoes.
Right.
So she had, all I could afford was potatoes. And so she just created different ways to have potatoes
Right.
every night. And then her daughter said to her, are we having potatoes again tonight? And it was that time she went, okay, I've got to change my financial situation.
Yeah.
But it was only that there. But she had unlimited choices of way, and she's an amazing cook, and unlimited choices of creating different potatoes over the months to get her through. And I think when we see that there's unlimited choices and not, I'm going to say restricted, we're not restricted to.
That's right. We're not restricted. We're not limited. We're not.
Yeah, to the
held
one
back.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when and that's just the power of saying no.
Yeah.
When you can say, no, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And no, guilt-free, I'm going to say, because we can all say
There's
no,
the
and then we
caveat.
can.
That's a good one. That's a
Yeah,
good
and
one.
then we can be a-holes. Yeah.
And have you ever come across, because I know I have, if I say to somebody, what do you want? They'll start to say, well, I don't want this, and I don't want this, and I don't like this, and I don't,
Yeah.
which is fine. To me, that's okay to do that. However, you then need to start using those, I don't want that, to, if I don't want that, it means I want this.
Mm.
I like to say, if somebody says, well, I don't like it to be cold, great, that means you like it to be warm.
Yeah, we do that. I don't want that. I don't want. We
Yeah.
do focus on that one. I had to last week. Was it last week? I don't know. Moira did a Ask the Tarot, which is amazing, where she pulls a few cards and nails your ass. Okay, if you ask Moira, she'll describe it differently. But
There's a wee bit different way of doing it, but that's okay. We'll go with that one for now.
Yeah, we'll just go with that one. And one of the beautiful things. So I say to people, "How do you want your life to look? What does it look like to you?" And I love that. And then Moira said, "How do you want your life to feel?"
Yeah.
I don't know if you said that. I don't know if you knew. And I went, feel. I've never looked at that. I've never. And so I had content going out that week for a mentoring thing. And I went, I'm changing this. I'm changing this to feel, because when you feel it, it has a different feel about it. Then you can easily have what do you want it to look like? But to have that feeling, that just shifted one thing. And so just that unlimited choices are around us showed me, how do you want it to feel? Not just how do you want it to look? How do you want it to feel? And as soon as I sat in that, I want to feel like this and this and this. And then when you can have that, my whole world went, that's much easier than to go, what do you want to achieve, or what do you want to have? What do you want to be, have, do, have, and then when you can just go, how do you want it to feel? And then you can go, oh, I can feel that. I thought it blew my brain that I just went, oh, that's so much easier. Now I can go, what do I need to do? Or what has to be done, or whatever the wording for me was. But that just showed.
And then what's the baby steps towards it? Yeah.
Yeah. And those steps towards it just flowed, because you have that feeling, you're holding on to that feeling of, oh, I can feel that.
Yeah.
And if it feels out of alignment, it's not for you, or it's not right, or pivot to the meerkat pivot, to the 2020 pivot. And that blew my mind last week on your thing. I actually forgot to tell you that.
Because I'm happy to hear that, because that's super important, because that energy in itself takes you straight into that realization there is unlimited choices.
I know.
Because
it makes so much sense.
The thing I find for myself, and I find in the work that I do with clients, is that if you get too caught into what do you want it to look like, what does the end goal look like, we get into our head way too much, and we get into our inner critic of like, if I want it to look like a mountain on the top of a mountain overlooking the ocean, that's what it's going to look like. But then that can just head you right into agendas and limitations and conditions and lack of self-worth, and right. Whereas if we just say, okay, you can visit that in your mind, but now let's get really clear on what does it make you feel like. And for some people it might make them feel like freedom, flow, peace, happiness, joy,
fulfilled.
Good. Let's just focus on them.
Yeah. And anything out of that, you can go, oh, this is this for me? Because you feel like you're going to question it more if your feeling isn't there.
Yes.
You'll
go,
oh,
so.
this doesn't feel right, or this doesn't feel, and you're just going to question it more. And I that was just a massive shift in my mindset around just showing you have your unlimited choices, because you go, oh, imagine feeling it.
Yeah.
And I'd never, and look, I listen to my body. My body will tell me what
you're
to do.
really good at it.
Yeah, so much so that I didn't listen to it yesterday. But it's one of those things. But I've never consciously thought about how do you want it to feel.
Yeah.
But that was a game changer in me. So thank you, Moira.
My
forgot
pleasure.
to tell you that. Yeah,
my pleasure. But that's beautiful. I'm really happy you brought that into the conversation, because it is that you need to feel the power of the choice and feel, because then once you do really get clear on what is your feeling. I was working with a client a couple months ago, and we had to keep have conversations around what was the feeling she wanted. And this was very new for her too. And the underlying piece for her, she wanted to feel joy and peace. I believe it was joy and peace. That's what she wanted to feel.
That's easy.
I know.
Sorry. But isn't that knowing that when you say you want joy and peace, well, you just got to watch what you ask for. Joy and peace, do they go together? But but that is actually just goes, oh, I think you just hear that and you just go, well, that's achievable.
That's right. But then you can use it as a navigational tool to look at options, opportunities, decisions. Does this feed that feeling? Does this take me towards joy? Does it take me toward peacefulness? Yes or no? That's it.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, that's it. Yes or no?
Yes, no.
Yes, go
But
down
here's
that
the
path.
other.
No.
Here's the other thing: is it's actually okay to consciously take the choice that says, no, it doesn't take me toward joy, but you have to be conscious of it, because you might be thinking, oh, what does this feel like over here?
So that pulls down to your other three things that are my little love heart on my computer. Is this good for me?
Yes.
Is this good for others? And do I want it?
And do I want it?
And if all three are a yes, then your feeling's right up there.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And so then it's not, oh, I should have changed my mind, or I should, oh, you were just having the experience. That's what we're supposed to be doing in this game of life, isn't it?
I know. It's pretty, we have the most amazing opportunity, unlimited choices. We have the most amazing unlimited choices around us, and we just have to open our eyes.
Yes.
And be okay with whatever it is.
And open up to the fact that they're there. I'm just thinking to myself that I could think of people, oh yeah, but not for me. Yeah, for that Moira and Deb, they can have lots of choices. Because they're that. They do this type of thing.
Well, then I'm going to call BS on that.
BS being their belief systems has gone to pot somehow, right? Because it is.
So what is this stirring up in people when we say the feeling? What are those unlimited choices that are blocking us? What is this stirring up in people? Because, if people are going, oh, it's all right for Moira and Deb. Well, actually, Moira and Deb right now are going through a transition of injuries.
Yes.
And change and evolution. And we're definitely not perfect. Well, I'd like to think I am.
We're all works in progress. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. We are that. And we're learning just like you, the listener. We may feel more evolved than you, but we've probably just gone through a few different tweaks or down the different slide.
Or made different choices to other people. That's it.
Yeah. And we just happen to have monetized our world around our mindset. And that's why we both coach and facilitate and
mentor and do card readings and
help others. Yeah, totally. But there are massive amount of unlimited choices around us, and I'm going to say, don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated if you can't see them, because you're not going to see anything until you are present. And when I say present, you've got to sit. It's wise to sit still. It's wise to sit still.
And even with just hand over your heart and take some deep breaths and just look and see and check in. What are the words you're using about yourself, to yourself? What are the thoughts that are spinning through your head? Is it time to just, let them out and then reset?
Yeah, and so just knowing also what works for you may not work for tomorrow.
Yes.
But it's okay.
That's where that flexibility part comes in, right?
Yeah. The meerkat. Pivot. And it is. We've had, since 2020, we've pivoted way more than anyone.
Absolutely. But I celebrate that. There's so much to be grateful for and appreciate in all of this shifting and changing, and still so much to
gratitude,
celebrate.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
That's your gratitude. And when we get stuck and when our life turns to chaos, we are often out of gratitude.
Very much so. And not really realizing that we still have a choice. Even sitting in chaos, you still have a choice.
Yeah. Well, we're out of time. But I feel how's this happening? I'm sure the last few we've gone, I want to keep going.
Yes,
Keep going.
definitely. Maybe we need a part 2.
Yeah. Let
I'd
us know if
love
you'd
to
like a
hear.
part 2.
Yeah, and I would love to hear from our listeners. Do you feel that? Do you feel that you have an array of unlimited choices right in front of you? An abundance of choices. Yes. I'd love to hear, how does this sit for you? And are you seeing them and embracing them and flowing with them, feeling flexible? Yeah.
Yeah, my mind is racing and racing and racing. Oh no, now we're going to rate ourselves. And how's my mind going to take after this? So as we know, we started the podcast with a number where we rated ourselves. And now we're going to rate ourselves again and see if that shifted closer to a 0 away from the 10.
Right.
And that was our intention, by the way. So
it was, by the way.
Yeah, by the way. So Moira, you were a 1.5. Where are you sitting at that now?
I'm going to actually put myself at a 1. I have come down and I'm feeling pretty calm, but I also feel like I want to, it's almost like, there's more. And also just to be doing an inventory. Am I really opening to all the choices that I have around me? Because it's like, it's good to say it, but then you think, I don't go, have I actually gone and opened or knocked on all the doors that are available to me right now? So
I feel the same.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say I'm a 1 as well, because it's definitely made me go, there's that thing there that you're being a little bit ego driven and you're just going, no, I'm not doing that. Or there's that other thing that you've been putting off and just delegated away. And then there's other things I look at the pile and go, don't even want to touch, so there's absolutely, there is unlimited. So I'm going to say a 1 as well, because I think this has stimulated my brain. It's definitely settled down. And at no time have I felt in pain with anything, although I just bandage that's been bleeding. It's always handy. But that's interesting, because I didn't even feel any pain or anything, but I'm in no time in my pain in my body, but it's made me, I'm going to say, more curiously inspired.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I would agree with that. Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to say I'm a 1 as well. So let us know what your number was to start with and where it ended. We trust that this conversation has really shifted some thoughts and rattled the cage inside you.
Woken up that boss within you and given you some fire in your belly.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, everybody. We will talk to you, or you'll hear us next week, or if you're behind on this episode, then jump in on another one.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, and thank you, Moira, for today. Oh, and if you'd like to join Moira's Ask the Tarot, so you can learn how to feel. It's not about feeling. It's not, but it just happened to be that. I'm not a great promoter of it. But just jump on this call. It's great.
Just jump on the call. It's on last Tuesday of every month.
Yeah. So on this episode, I'll make sure, please, we'll make sure that we put the link for the next one, and so you can join us. And then you actually also get to see us both in person as well.
That's right.
You'll get to hear what's going on in my world. Oh, fancy that. So thank you, Moira, for today, and thank you, listeners. Today was really great. I enjoyed it.
I loved today. This was awesome. Thank you, dear Deb. It's always awesome doing these with you. And thank you, dear listeners. And let us know if we can be of any support or help to help you open up to your vast, amazing choices around you. Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.